another glorious day, my tea sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your crumpets together because it's time to dish the tea. And you're dishing the tea, darlings, with Big Mitch.
Can't wait, it's time to dish tea with Big Mitch. It's time to dish tea with Big Mitch. It's time to dish tea with Big Mitch. It's time to dish tea with Big Mitch.
Darling.
And hello. Oh, hello there to all of you who may be tuning in live, who may be coming in now, who may be watching this in the rebroadcast and things of that nature on whatever platform, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and all the others, however it's being posted. I'm coming to you at this time. Well, y'all know I'm a third shifter and things of that nature, so I'm trying to get it all together. We're here at home still quarantining and chilling and all of those particular kind of shenanigans. And all of that, you see I need to shave. Look at all this. Look at all of this, child. Look at this. My baby needs to shave, child. But, I've been a little lazy. Didn't want to get on here, get on this razor and stuff. But I don't like when my head and stuff start itching and things. But, nonetheless, I'm coming to you now after just having to take a nap and doing all of those things, honey. Oh, I meant to get my stuff because I wanted to bring on... I'm going to shout out my girl, honey, Miss Squeezes by BB Red, honey, and I don't have my squeeze bottles. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have to go get them because it is very important. This girl here, these damn cocktails, she has some wonderful, wonderful stuff. And I'm going to get into that a little later. Hey, Tracy, what's going on, my darling? Yeah, for those of you who come in here, come on up in. I'm going to announce and say, everybody, make sure you put your comments down here. Because what's going to happen is I'm coming to you today because there's a few things that's on the table. Of course, everybody's talking about this damn little BOOSIE comments and carrying on, and I want to touch on that. And then I also want to go into the Black agenda. You know, in fact, I'm going to tie all of this together because I think that with the little BOOSIE comments and carrying on, it is loosely a part of the quote-unquote Black agenda. And you're going to find out why I say that. And yes, I'm going to say this up front, that this is going to be a stretch in some regards of coordinating all of this. But I really believe that it is the underbelly of what's going on. So let's get started. Let's start with the little BOOSIE comments and carrying on, because I have not, yes I have. I heard that I was watching T.S. Madison. Okay, y'all know T.S. Madison, that's my sister, honey. I love me some T.S. Madison. I really believe in all that she's doing and carrying on. Hey, people. I really believe in her, and I look to her as far as social media and, you know, being a YouTube sensation and all of that. I really and truly enjoy her. She and Funky Duneva and Lonnie B and a couple other folks that I enjoy. And she played the clip of what little BOOSIE had said about, you know, taking his 12 or 13-year-old sons and nephews and this, that, and the other. And, you know, basically buying a goddamn prostitute and having the prostitute suck their dick and carrying on. But then he went on, because the rant became of how he was going on, and yeah, I'm trying to train him up the right way and this, that, and the other. And then, of course, as we all know, he got into, you know, the whole gay shit thing that he did. And, all right. A lot of folks have gotten on the bandwagon. Oh my God, that is child abuse. That it is child molestation. It's all this. It's all that. And yes, it's all of the above. Okay. Is it something that, you know, we look into and things and that we, you know, pat each other on the back about and et cetera, et cetera? No. But I do want us to understand that there is part of culture. We do have to realize, child, that, you know, the whole rites of passage of becoming a man and this, that, and the other, men, you know, beat their chest or whatever whenever they go out and feel as though they are teaching their youngsters how to be a man. Okay? That there is something very cultural It's done in many different ways and in many different cultures, and it's and carrying on. But I'm going to stay with us as Black folks, because one of the things that I find troubling with this is that it is often done because men want to make sure that their boys are not gay or are not going to be soft or this, that, and the other. I'm going to share some things about me that I'm sure my parents, my mom, my dad doesn't know. I'm sure my mom is probably not going to want me to say, but I'm going to because it's my life. And that there is, in an effort of wanting to man me up, okay, because at one point in time, and still, I was considered to be a little too soft and too this and too that. My mother's boyfriend at the time, had wanted me, or wanted to show me what being a man was all about. So my play sister, and I, he had wanted us to have sex. And he was doing so to get me to understand what it was of being a man. And then on top of it, he would come in and watch us to make sure I was doing something. Okay, now you have to, mind you, this here was, let's see, we were what? This was 1980. Yeah, 80, 81. So I was 10, okay? But I was sexually, I had been sexually active at that particular time, believe it or not. And so, we would sit down there and we would do this and we would do that and carrying on. And this was just before I started learning what ejaculation was, because I thought I had to pee. And so because I thought I had to pee, I stopped. And then nothing happen. I went to the bathroom. I'm like, I thought I had to pee. And didn't know what the hell that sensation was, okay? However, nonetheless, this was something that was done. We were at home. We were at home in her mother's bedroom. And Edward would come in all the time, and he would come in to watch me to make sure I was doing it right, and make sure I was tearing the pussy up. Go figure. Now, of course, looking back on that, I thought, we can say that he thought he was doing the right thing. Did it turn me into this straight, heterosexual, pussy-loving whoremonger? No. It did I turned into a gay, ass and dick-loving whoremonger. But, but nonetheless, that there was some kind of rite of passage kind of thing and I'm only going to stick here with our community because I know it's done across communities or whatever, but Black folks, this is something that Black men, feel as though they have to do or they must do in order to prepare their youngsters or prepare boys for manhood and to learn how to approach a woman and this, that, and the other, because, women are real bad at making sure that they little boys know how much of a stud they are, especially if they're very attractive. Ooh, my little man, honey, he could get all the girls. He could have all the girlfriends. And then you got those little predators who sit down there, and because they see a young tenderloin in the making and things of that nature, they will start to groom him. Okay, yeah, women, you groom these little young boys, and then you start to prepare them for their first sexual experiences. You start to prepare them for what the world is, and then everything then starts to become about sex and how his sexual prowess is and this, that, and the other. What Lil Boosie said is indicative of what goes on, and it's not just a Southern thing. This is indicative of what goes on in the minds of heterosexual men or heteroattractional men who believe thoroughly that they are doing the right thing because they want to raise a man. Okay? Is it deplorable? Is it despicable? Yes. I've never said anything to my mother. For those of you who are thinking or asking if I come and say something to my mother, I never said anything to my mother about this. In fact, this is the first time. No, it's not the first time I'm talking about it, but I have never had that particular conversation with her about how that affected me. You understand? In fact, me and Desiree, we never really even talked about it, since that time or whatever. It's just that it was very interesting, But nonetheless, it happens, and it was all because I know he thought I was too fucking soft. Okay? My dad, on the other hand, now catch this. My dad, now this is what I was 16. Went to go visit my father and carrying on, and he hadn't seen me in a while. So now his thing was to show his son a good time. He wanted to take me to a titty bar. Go figure. He wanted to take me to a titty bar, and he wanted to, make sure he was trying to show me a good time and this, that, and the other. He was trying to talk the bar owner and stuff into letting me come in to get a lap dance and this, that, and the other. And the bar owner was telling him, man, I can't let him in here because we sell alcohol and I could lose my license. And Daddy was trying to sweet talk him and carrying on, trying to talk that brother thing and, trying to sit up there and do this. And I was so glad that it did not happen because I know my father would have wanted some girl to press up on me and would have wanted me to have sex with that child. And at that particular time, honey, I was like, Daddy, please. Okay, this ain't working. And let's say, by the time I was 16, honey, I knew I was done with the whole girl thing, pussy thing. I was done. Okay? And I would get embarrassed and I would become very uncomfortable when women would press up on me and this, that, and the other because they thought they were making a good man out of me. So all these comments that Boosie made and carrying on, whether he was drunk, high, this, that, and the other, he said those things out of, like we know, a man being a man and thinking that they are stopping or curing the whole idea or stopping the seed of homosexuality being planted in their boys or whatever. I'm raising them the right way. Yeah, you damn right they got their dick sucked. Yeah. And if you come around here, if you gonna get fucked if you come fucking with them. And see, we have made this such a culture, particularly with understanding black men. Our DNA says that we're supposed to be these sexual beings, we're supposed to be slinging pipe, we're supposed to be dropping dead. Women sit down there, we got the songs, don't want no short dick man, you got to come and hit it and carry on, blah, 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 blah. A lot of that, and I'm going to say this, a lot of that mentality is slave mentality residuals. Yeah. Why do I say that? Because oftentimes, we are in a position to where we feel that we're supposed to lay it down because, of course, during slavery times, the families were broken up. Husband and wife teams, families were just destroyed because why? They were sold off. They were this, that, and other. And in the waiting of wanting to be monogamous and carrying on and wanting to sit down there and say, oh, this is my husband, blah, 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 blah. You never knew when your husband was coming back or your wife or whatever. And more so, men in particular, because if the women were sold first, you knew damn well that there was nothing you could do about that. Even when they were in the same camp, and the overseer, I don't want to say master, but when the overseer came, and if he chose your wife to be the one that he wanted to have sex with, there was nothing you could do about it unless it was going to cost you your life. You understand? So oftentimes, child, a lot of times the husbands and stuff, they were powerless because, and a lot of times they chose to be in order to save the family. Mark my words. I say chose to be because oftentimes it was for the betterment of saving the family. You understand? And they took the hit. They took the hit in order to preserve the family for as long as they were able to do so, because in some cases it didn't happen anyway. They got sold off or whatever because it became problematic. Because I know, listening to stories from my grandmother and my great aunts and uncles and carrying on, listening to that and how those women had to stay strong or whatever in order to make sure that they kept their families together. That was something um, that was more so done out of necessity. You know what I'm saying? So in that, now here we are now, we have been inoculated with that kind of thinking. We have been inoculated with making sure that we hold on to shit, in an effort of trying to keep our families together. And then of course it got adulterated. Because see, now we get inundated with the ideas of boys will be boys. You understand? And excuse me. And we have subscribed to that particular bullshit on the up and up and believe that this is supposed to be a way of life. We have allowed society to do that to us. We have allowed our culture, or the mainstream culture, to sit down there and to justify it by saying this is what being a man is. So now that we have inoculated that into the DNA of all males, now we end up trying to have exact interpretation of it. We sit up there and define our manhood and our masculinity based upon how good our sex is, how hard we are, how soft we are not. And then on top of it, the added thing is that we live up to what we think or the expectations of what society says a man is supposed to be. So now you take Lil Boosie's comments and carry it on. And you sit down there and understand in the mindset of a man is supposed to have a woman and things that he's supposed to sit down there and his needs are supposed to be met and his needs are supposed to be taken care of by a woman. And I want to make sure they understand that's the right way to do it. See, all that is being anti-gay, to make sure I ain't got no punks, to make sure I ain't got no sissies, to make sure I ain't got no fags. Or faggots, as Miss, I love that. When T.S. Madison say the faggots, okay? And that there is inoculated, and I like using that word because it's like a syringe, honey. It has just been, pressed into us as though it was a vaccine. Oh, I like that. As though it is a vaccine, okay? And carrying on. Now, looking at it, of course, in this particular day and time, of course, I was appalled when I heard that. I said, this dumb motherfucker, and coming from him, it seems very, 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 very peculiar because Boosie has been on this whole track, and I don't follow him in his career. I don't know what the hell his music sounds like. I don't know nothing about this man. All I know is his goddamn mouth. He has been in the public eye with all this anti-gay shit. Let's see, when he was locked up, there was some interview he did on Vlad where he got to talking about what he saw in the jail cell and this, that, and the other, and how mesmerized that was. And listening to him, y'all go on YouTube and go look that up. When he was talking about what, how he was in the jail and carrying on and this, that, and other, how he saw two men getting it together and getting it together. Okay. And if you listen to him, you listen to his conversation. Okay. And it sounds like, the whole fascination of it. It's like, damn, I did not know that could happen. And to me, now this is just me. And it may be you, because everybody who's intelligent and know how to read context clues and carrying on, you understand what that feeling is, when it seemed as though it titillated him. Not to say that he wanted to experience it. I'm just saying it moved him. You understand? And so now we have that. Then you got, his comments when he was going off on Dwayne Wade and carrying on and, them dealing with his trans daughter. And things of that nature, and his comments that he had made, et cetera, et cetera. So, when we have that, now you got this. Okay, I'm going to raise my boys the right way and this, that, and other. This here is all in a campaign that a lot of you who will say, oh, here y'all go with this gay shit. Y'all trying to throw gay into everything. No, we're not trying to throw gay into everything. This here is an anti-gay movement of some sort, loosely. You understand? But in his defense, if there's any, in his defense, as a hetero-attractional man, honey, this here is just what it is, honey. This is how straight men think. And they get into the mindset of, I am doing this to protect my son. This is the best thing that I know how to do. And the sad thing is that I cannot necessarily fault him for that, because as a parent, you are doing what you know to do, or the best thing that you know how to do, in order to raise your children. It's just like this. Just like anybody who was born into that whole, look at those who were born into the culture of prostitution and brothels and stuff. Look at those who were born into the drug culture and that whole street shit. You can't blame the parents that carrying on for teaching them the ropes, because that's all they know. It's all about getting on with the hustle. You know what I'm saying? This is how we make money. I'm going to teach you this so you can keep some money in your pocket. As a matter of fact, my father told me that bullshit. He was selling drugs at one point, and I had just started going to college. I was just about to graduate high school, and I was about to start down at Wayne State University. And in fact, this is the same time he tried to get me in the damn titty bar. He said to me, oh, well, yeah, son, I'm going to sit down there, and what we going to do is I'm going to give you something so you can have some shit to sell around the campus and everything. That way you keep you some pocket change. My father told me that. Okay. Now, mind you, my father is a hustler. Okay. He's an entrepreneur, and I'll say that because my daddy was, and he still is. It's all about making sure he can get a coin. You understand? Legal or otherwise. Okay. Now, out of his hustle, he has become the entrepreneur that he is, honey. My father, he owned, he bought a lot. He done bought a lot because my father, I call him, he just reminds me so much of Fred Sanford, child, because he was a junker. Okay, he would go through, he would gut out all these buildings and carry it on and clean them out and take all that scrap metal and this, that, and the other, and all the used appliances and stuff. And he would go sell it to the junkyards and all that kind of stuff. And my father now has a business because now he get contracted out to go when they closing down schools or the corporations are carrying out. Yeah, that's what he does now. And he built that from the ground up, child. He started like everybody else collecting cans and shit. Okay. And now that's what he does. Okay. So, well, I ain't gonna get all off into his business because as to the why he became an entrepreneur. Yes, I am. You know, my daddy, he was a hustler, but when he was working on the grid, he stopped working because they started taking child support. And when he got garnished, my daddy stopped working on the grid and he went completely underground. Now that it is what it is, that may not be the 100% truth. The way how cut and dry I just made that sound, it may not be the 100% truth, but that's what happened because, well, I think we got 2 child support checks and shit after that it stopped coming because they couldn't find him, quote unquote. Well, shit, they weren't looking for him actually, but you know, of course, in those kind of events, he was being paid cash. But I said all that to say, this here is what men do in trying to establish themselves as men, to establish themselves as someone who is doing the right thing, who's taking care of what they need to take care of, who's standing up to be a real man and ain't taking no shit, I ain't soft, you know, and this, that, and the other. But yeah, he told me that about going to putting something, giving me some drugs to sell so I can keep some pocket change. So this is what we have here, honey. Yes, what he said. Now, the thing of it is, particularly in this day and time, because everybody has gotten so sensitive, and we are now at an era in life where we're able to call out these wayward ass child rearing tactics. You know, we're able to call them out and say, nigga, what is wrong with you? You know, what the fuck is this? You don't do that to no child, you know, and et cetera, et cetera. Now, let me say this too. Because see, at 14, I was a precocious one. I was by the time I was 14, I was very sexually active. Okay. I was very sexually active. And see, I was one of the ones who, and I keep looking at the television screen because something keep coming up on this news. I was the one who would go after older people and carrying on. In fact, I preyed on them. How about that? They didn't prey on me. I preyed on them. Yes. Okay. Now, luckily, I wasn't one of the ones to sit down there to cry statutory rape or try to, use them to get over and carrying on. My mind wasn't wrapped around that. I thought that was cruel whenever I heard folks that do that. But my generation, that's when a lot of that shit was going on, But it didn't start with mine. You see all the time when you look at some of the older movies and stuff and how girls would use their sexual wiles and everything to get the good grades and to get over because they saw their mothers and carrying on doing that. Bat your eyes and give them a little shoulder, a little hip or whatever, offer them something or titillate them just to get what you want out the deal, And so I did all of that, but I only wanted sex because I was sexually active, around that particular time. So it did not fuel me to go into the negative aspect of it. But nowadays, when you have 12, 13, 14-year-olds, look at the food and shit now. A lot of these kids are becoming sexually in tune now because, hell, a lot of the food and stuff got all these hormones and stuff in it, and it's operating and doing what their bodies are carrying on so early. Then the mindset of a lot of these kids are done in such is coming off in such a way to where oftentimes you thinking you're dealing with the child, but they done growing up so fast these days. We got the internet and carrying on. Everything is at their disposal, at their fingertips. And of course you gave them these goddamn phones that they could sit down there and do anything on their phones and everything. And we're so into wanting to tell a child how much their privacy is important. It is, but it ain't, child. If they up under your motherfucking roof, child, a child has very limited privacy. You understand? And that's it. Now, y'all would disagree with me. For those of y'all who are progressive parents and carrying on, you would disagree with me 100%, and that's fine. We can have that level of disagreement respectfully. I'm saying that I would disagree with that because what we have done is that we have allowed children to sit down there and they create a life that you know nothing about. And because they are not equipped to handle shit, they would get themselves caught up into some shit to where the blame will all fall back on you for not knowing. And if you are not in tune with your child, if you do not understand what is going on with your child, then honey, you end up into a whole whirlwind of bullshit. That's how we got kids who are pregnant at 10, 11, 12, 13 years old. Because you're not paying attention to what they're doing. You understand? And I have the story that I just gave y'all about me and mine. I could have been a father if I don't think Desiree was on her menstrual cycle at that time. I don't think so. No, I don't think she was. But just the idea, if I had ejaculated because I was having sex and was at that point of ejaculation, I could have been a father at 11 years old. Here I am, 50. Okay, and could right now be having a 39-year-old child. The fuck is that? But I know folks who are. Okay, I know folks who are. I mean, hell, the Queen of Soul was like that. She had her first child at 12. Aretha Franklin. Her first child was at 12 years old. How about that? Okay. Now, I ain't going to get off into that because there's some speculation behind a lot of that, but I'll leave that for the tabloids. But the truth of the matter is she has 4 children, and her first one she had at 12. Okay? So, but we have a number of people who are like that. So in this day and age, this is what we have to contend with. So I'm not on the fence with it. What Lil Boosie stuff has said, I think it's deplorable and carrying on. I don't necessarily fault it because I, as a male child, I understand what the thinking is. I don't agree with it at all. I do not agree with that bullshit at all. Not at all, because here is the flip. Now, you want me to throw some gay shit in it? What would you say? What would you say, children, if me, as a gay man, and I had my son, my own son, my biological child, and I discovered that my son is gay, And so in order for me to make sure he get it done the right way, or I'm teaching him how to be his best gay self and to be the best man and this, that, and the other, I took him to a male prostitute so that he could get his first piece of ass or his first piece of dick the right way. Let that sink for just a second. Because I know half of y'all who going to be listening to this going to look at me like, you stupid. That's motherfucking insane. That's goddamn crazy. I know damn well you going to say that. Think about that. What if me being and doing the right thing as a parent, and I discover that, and I see that my child is gay, okay? He ain't got to say it. I know it. Everything that he does, honey. And being a gay man, I understand what he's going through. So I decide that my child, and most of the time when these things happen is because you realize that your child is becoming sexually active, asking questions, calling them looking at the porn and shit and this, that, and the other. Now, what would you say if I, as a gay man, took my son, who I believe is going to be gay, and took him to a prostitute to get his first piece of dick or his first piece of ass, or both? What the hell would you say if I was to sit down there and be BOOSIE and come up on the motherfucking internet and say some shit like that? Yeah, I took my 13-year-old nephew and my son. Hell yeah, you're damn right. Shit, I knew they were going to be little punks and things. I knew they were going to be just like me. So shit, I wanted to make sure they do it the right way. I taught my kids the right way. Hell yeah, they got their dick sucked. Hell yeah, let them go get a piece of ass. Hell yeah. What the hell would you say? Huh? What would go through the mind for that? This is more than just what other people say, because see, now mind you, I think I'm doing the right thing because I'm teaching them the right way. I got the right people, making sure they're not out there gonna catch the AIDS or nothing. I got somebody who gonna show them what to do with condoms and things. Yeah, I took them that they're gonna do it the right way. Or better yet, what if I did that with my daughter? What if I took my daughter to a dude that I know was gonna sling some good dick? Like, listen, break my daughter off a piece. Teacher, what Brian McKnight saying in his song, let me show you how your pussy work. Huh? What if I, as a father, did that with my daughter? Or a mother even? Huh? What would that be? What would that be? So here we have it. Let's understand what the practice of parenting is. You understand? Because somewhere along the line, somebody's going to say, oh, well, that's you being a parent. You can't you can't tell nobody how to raise their kids. And in one respect, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely, that is your child. And that child is living in your house. And regardless of how fucked up I think you may be in raising that child, you are the parent. All the rights and stuff fall on you. And if something go wrong, carrying on defect coming after you, they're not coming after me. Okay? If you fuck up the law coming after you, they're not coming after me unless I committed a crime against that child. But coming up against you, no. So what is that for you? Huh? What is that in your neck of the woods? See, we can't fault him for what he said. But what we can fault him for is going public with the shit. Lil Boosie got up there and said that shit and was bragging about it with bragging rights to say that this is what he has done. And in his mind, if he has any other younger children, it sounds like it's something he will continue to do. And then think about it like this. If that's what he taught his son and his nephew to do, what are they going to do when they get old enough to have children? Okay, and their children become old enough and sexually active. Are they going to take them to the prostitute too? Or to their best girl or whatever so they can get a good piece of pussy? So he could train them up so they could do right? So that we ain't going to have none of that gay shit? At least I'd rather them do this than be sitting around there watching TV with two men kissing. That's what he said. So see, it became this whole anti-gay rhetoric because you think you doing something right to stop the gay shit. Really? Really? And for those of you who are going to sit down here and jump on the LGBT community, and because they're saying that, because they're making comments like I'm saying that this is, this is an anti-gay movement or an anti-gay statement because you said that, that's exactly what the fuck it is. That's exactly what the fuck it is, because you doing this to make sure that at least I did the right thing. So that way you can say it's a choice. I taught you to go after pussy because you a man. You decided that you want dick and standing out there with that. You decided to go on that gay shit, and then it becomes a point of contention. You understand? And so this is something that we have to look at and get up under the surface and go to the substance of the thing. You understand? So it's not about whether he raising his child right way or wrong way. It's about, now let's look at what parenting is. Let's look at what parenting is. Because like I say, in my analogy, if I was the one to do it as a gay man, if I were to sit down there and take my son, who my gay son, okay, because I realized that he's going to be gay. If I took him to go get his first piece of ass or his first piece of dick to a prostitute, the world would have a fucking fit and call me all kinds of shit. Oh, you pushing that gay agenda on your child. That's a damn shame. That don't make, you going to burn in hell for that shit. You going to turn that boy out like that. See, we get all of that. We would get all of that without any hesitation, without any question. We would get all of the outrage. We would get all of the thunderous hatred. You understand? But it's not about that, because I'm going to tell you, you can't tell me how to raise mine. And then y'all would sit up there and say, well, they need to take those kids away from you because that there is wrong. So see, we would go through all of that. But if that's the case, then take it across the board, because it's Boosie wrong for doing what he did. Is he wrong, and does his children need to be taken from him? Does his parental rights need to be revoked? What about the people who actually perform the sex acts with the child? Do they become a part of the problem? Do they become or receive part of the punishment as well? Huh? If it's a prostitute, honey, all she saw was money. This is her opportunity, honey, to make it happen. And for those of y'all who believe that this is just a black thing, I'm sticking with black folks because this is my community and this is my folks. But y'all seen the movies and carrying on. What was it? I forget the name of the movie with the Karate Kid, the original, with Ralph Macchio. He was in it, and his dad or somebody took him to the prostitute. You see it all the time in the movies and stuff, to where this is something that is supposedly a rite of passage. Okay. So yeah. And I'm tying this onto the black agenda, because here we have us as black folks who get upset with the LGBT community and things because we feel as though our needs aren't being met, and that y'all mad because the LGBT community was able to get this and get that under President Obama. You're mad because, even under this current administration, y'all thinking the LGBT, it's magic and we're able to do this. But what has happened is LGBT has lobbied. They have campaigned. They have put the money and the resources into having a political front, having an economic pool to say, listen, my community brings this kind of money to this economy, and you will listen to us so that we can get our needs met. What has we as black folks done to do that? Because we have no economic power. We have no political power. Not as a whole. Because if we did, we would be able to get our needs met. And so I titled this particular show, The Black Agenda Should Be Most Inclusive, right? But is it really inclusive? Because, see, when we talk about our community, taking this shit that little Boosie said as far as being a man, okay, let's look at what's going on with being a man. Because, see, to connect the dots with the whole slave mentality residue, okay, that I'm talking about, because here we have, remember I said earlier, the whole idea of being separated from the family and leaving something behind. See, that there come from those days where we got sold off to the families and shit, and our families were broken up and we got sold off in exchange to this, that, and the other. And either most women did most of the waiting, according to the stories that I've heard from my grandparents and carrying on, and my great grandmama. The women were the ones that was waiting on their man to come back. Men, on the other hand, because they were strong and strapping, they got needs to be met. So hell, they started fucking somebody else. They found a new wife, a new girlfriend, or whatever. Okay, and that there is because you miles and miles away. You in a whole nother city, not knowing if you're gonna get back or not. So what ends up happening, the man end up having a whole nother family someplace else. You got kids, don't nobody know about. So see that residual effect that we've had coming from there, when we did not know what was going on, to where it became a choice when we started getting divorces and carrying on, or you started tipping on your wife because a man is being a man. You know what I'm saying? Now you got the side piece or whatever, having babies and shit, then coming back home to your wife. Okay, with that bullshit. Then come where welfare and stuff came into play. And so now that was strategically designed to keep the man away and carrying on. So now, in order to take care of your kids, you couldn't be there. See? So again, slave mentality residue. Okay, you know how when you go wash the dishes in the dishwasher and you think it's clean and then you pull it out and it got all these damn soap spots on it, or it did not clean all of the spaghetti sauce off the plate, the residue, that's what this is. That's exactly what this is. It's residue. Because see, now we have taken that residue and we have adulterated it. Oh, better yet, let me use this analogy. Y'all know how y'all get those Pyrex glass dishes that we bake in and cook in and stuff? And when you buy them, that bitch is sugar shit clean, ain't it? That girl is clean, but when you bake on it, when that shit get cooked into that glass, sometimes, I don't care how much elbow grease you get in that damn thing, those brown spots don't come out that glass, does it? It look like that glass is tainted forever, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Okay, but what? You try to scrub it, it don't come out. Okay, so now what? You're dealing with the residue of the last dish on that glass plate. Okay, in the glass Pyrex thing. And we just cook on it, don't we? Same thing here. That there is what the residue does, because now it has imbrued the soul and the DNA. It's a stain permanently. Okay, so that particular kind of residue, now we in a place where, welfare came in, the man can't be there, okay, in order to take care of the kids. So now if I can't be there, what does he do? He goes someplace else, and now he got another woman and created a whole new family, whatever, and had more kids, So now, here we are. Then we get women who want to sit down there and say, oh, I need me a real man. Women who are comfortable being the side pieces. Women who are accepting that this man is not here 100%. Women who accept the fact that, oh, I get the leftovers and things of that nature, or a piece of it, and I'm good, because I don't want no emotional commitment or emotional attachment. So we have adulterated this thing to where now this is what we have to contend with. When you got men sitting up there thinking, oh, I could do this to my child, my son in particular, because I want them to be real men. That there is residue. That is slave mentality residue that we have inoculated into our culture and say that it's normal, and say that this is real, and say that this is what is expected of us. And then part of that of being part of the black community or the black agenda is that in our efforts to say what we want as black people, we go to this anti-gay bullshit from the church and from all the other entities that say that this is not us and this is not what this is, and oh my God, we need to do something better because the LGBT always doing this, that, and the third. Where are our rights, and where are we doing to be equal, and to have equality, and how come we can't, and how come we can't? So we get all of that, onto this black agenda, and everything you want to be most inclusive, and in your most inclusiveness, then you want to sit down there and have exclusivities to say, okay, accept this, accept that. You want to make exceptions to the rule. Say, huh? Yeah. Okay. But that there is part of what this is. And so now going back to I'm a sidetrack to go on to the point of being on the black agenda. Okay? I'm going to say this again because I'm going to say that we need to galvanize so that we can come up with what the fuck the agenda is. I don't believe that we absolutely have specifics to what we need as a black people. We don't because we talk out the side of both our necks. Both our necks, Lord. We talk out of both sides of our necks, okay, and expect everybody to understand it when we don't get it, okay. When we don't get it, we had to go to specifics of what it is that we want. When we say education, what do we mean when we want education? We want better education for our kids. I'm going to tell you, I know my definition of better education is we need better schools. We need to make sure that the buildings are going to be adequately heated, adequate lights. We're going to make sure that the food and stuff that comes up in there and the proper nutrition when we feed our kids. We want to make sure that we got the best teachers, not just somebody who want to hang out at the goddamn school. We want to make sure that we got the best teachers, the best curriculum, so that we could train up our children to be competitive. Okay, they're going out into this world to make a name for themselves. We want to make sure that our children are able to pass all of the state exams and carry on, not just slide by on the skin of their teeth, and don't just pass my child because you think they not outgrew this particular grade. If the work is not quality work and it's not standard, don't you put the stamp of pass on my child. And if we have children who are not responsive to traditional ways of training, then we have to make sure that we have the folks in there to do alternative teachings, because some of us are just not apt for school. We don't learn the same. So we got to make sure that we have special programs that is not special ed. You understand? You don't dumb down the kids. What you do is show them a different way of learning. That's what it is. We need those kinds of specifics on this black agenda so that we don't have the whole idea of, oh, I got to be the man and do this man shit. Okay? Because oftentimes, I know for those who have dropped out of school, that being this man shit became the hustle. It became the side hustle, the street hustle, and carrying on. And then it ultimately is becoming illegal activities and shit. You understand? So it becomes a lot of that. And oftentimes I don't think that we make that correlation. You understand? So we need to understand and be specific about that. Where are all of the textbooks for those of you who say that black history is not taught? Where are the textbooks? How come we don't have these black scholars who keep talking about black history? Where are the textbooks? Where are they? We keep saying that we need to teach this. We don't have the textbooks to talk. You know, where are they? You keep saying, do your research. Everybody want to wake up and carry on. Where are the textbooks, people? Where are our study guides? We are not just oracles and things of that nature. Yeah, that's a part of our history, to where the oracles sit down there and teach the folks and carrying on. You know, a word of mouth situation, but we have to study. Where are the textbooks? We need to be able to pick up a textbook like everybody else does from reference guides and carry on and say, hey, we need to have and upgrade those every year like the other textbooks. This is volume 1, volume 2. Okay? Where are they? Where are they? We need to bring back skills and trades in the school system. Remember, I come from an era where wood shop and welding and stuff was part. We had auto mechanics in some schools where you learn, and we had plumbing. You know, you learn how to do those things. Now, I didn't take those particular classes because I thought I was too sophisticated for all that. Okay, and nothing about power tools and stuff like that didn't impress me. I was the more academic person. I did debate and you know, those kinds of things. And I was in the spelling bee and all that. Okay, because I was taught that, you know, intelligence was about book smarts or whatever. I wasn't the one who was taught that, okay, let's understand working a trade and carrying on, you know? What happened to junior achievement? Remember J.A.? When I was in the class and things, they was learning, teaching folks how to have businesses and what it was to have a business mind. We had accounting classes and things. We took accounting. I took accounting in school, in high school. Okay, that was ninth grade. We took accounting to learn how to balance the books of carrying on. So when we talk about understanding the educational system, what are we saying, children? We need to get specific. We need to understand that we need to talk about businesses, understanding black economics, understanding what does that mean to understand the dollar. A lot of us don't know about money, and the proof is in the pudding. We get the goddamn stimulus check, child. The kids ran out. Soon as they open up the goddamn malls here in Georgia, they down there trying to get the goddamn Jordans. Then I found out, watching Maddie, that the kids... They opened up Lennox Mall, child, this past Monday or whatever it was. Child, these girls at the Louis Vuitton store, child, she showed a picture of the folks at Louis Vuitton. The mall, the line is so long, it's starting to wrap around the inside of the goddamn mall. They waiting to get into Louis Vuitton. I said, now I know damn well ain't nobody standing in this line just to go look at a purse. Okay? Or a bag. Or Louis Vuitton shoes, or whatever the case is. You know, you're going to get your LV on. So when we talk about the black agenda and making it most inclusive, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. It is everything. It is Lil Boosie and his parenting skills and how we as a people need to embrace our parenting skills. We are now at an era now, because see, I would consider Boosie is in my generation gap, I believe. I don't know if I'm 50. My generation gap is anything from 1965 to, I'm gonna say, 1980. Okay, yeah, that's about 15 years. Okay, yeah, that'll be those who are considered to be in quote unquote my generation. Okay, because my sisters, I'm 7 years older than my sisters. They were born in 77. Okay, so yeah, that whole generation gap right there. And yeah, because I'm going to go 5 years older than me. Because those who are 65, they'll be 55 now, or this year. So yeah, 55 to 43. Let me give that gap right there, because most of us, we come from that era. We still part of the civil rights struggle. We're part of the whole the movement with welfare, and we saw the drugs come into the community. A lot of us are in that era where we knew what black businesses were, you know, and understanding what the black community was. We saw the migration of new Americans and Middle Eastern Americans that came into our communities and wiped out our communities. We saw the migration of Asians coming into our communities and buying up all of the stores, and how Asians came in and now capitalized on black businesses and black hair care. And so my generation, we saw all that, and we saw how us as a people, how we let it go. You know, we come from my generation is the last era where we understood what it was to have the after effects of the Black Panther Party, because we still had we still were self-policed. We understood what it was to have a community, you know, and the folks who was on drugs or whatever, we still had those who were driving the folks out of our communities and things. We still had where the village was still taking care of the kids. You know what I'm saying? If you sat down there and did something, Miss Smith, honey, who was the nosy neighbor, told your mama and things. And so we still had that. After 1980, yeah, after 1980 was when that goddamn thing started to change. Right after 1980. Okay, because now I'm 10, you know, starting going to my teenage years, and that's when when we as a community just went to hell. Went to hell in a handbasket, child. And yeah, so that generation was, yeah, that's what it is. So we have to understand how to not necessarily go back, but what we need to reintroduce some of them. When we say go back to basics, we need to reintroduce some of those kinds of things so that we can understand what the agenda is. Because see, now we are the elders of the community. Our parents are not the senior citizens. You know, so what is that now? You know, what is that? What are we doing to make sure that to move forward for our grandchildren? And my sister's like my sister, one of my sisters, they're twins, but the older twin, she's a grandmother now. Okay, my brother, had he still been alive, he's a grandfather now. Okay, so now what are we doing to ensure what do we leave behind for our grandbabies? You know, what do we leave behind? Because right now it's still a mess. So this is why when we talk about the Black agenda, we need to get specific about it. And we have to be most inclusive. And in that inclusivity, we have to make sure that we break down and dispel a lot of the myths. And one of the myths is this little BOOSIE shit about what it is to be a black man and carrying on. So black men, we need to have these conversations amongst ourselves. Because see, the truth of the matter is we got a lot of unspoken rules that we just think that everybody's supposed to understand within us. And we're afraid to challenge that. We're afraid to stand up to another black man and say, dude, that ain't cool. Okay, that ain't cool. And because why? Because we don't want our masculinity challenged. We don't want our hardness challenged. Or whatever. But we got to be willing to stand up and say, dude, there's a better way to do that. There is a better way to do that. We come from the generation of not being, of shit that was done to us and not being able to speak. Because we come from that generation of a child should be seen and not heard. And now you sitting up there now doing some shit that's going to what? That's going to impact the child in a way that is unheard of. Y'all heard me tell my story, and you really don't understand that me having sex at such an early age and being watched. Edward used to watch me. He used to come, and I told you, he used to come in, oh, you tearing the pussy up, son? And all that old bullshit tending to where now that has an impact on me because it taught me how to be voyeuristic and how to be an exhibitionist in something that should be private. You understand? You know? And I want that to settle for a second. Okay? I want that to settle for a second. Taught me how to be voyeuristic and exhibitionist in me having sex with someone because you were watching me. And then it became about my performance to make sure that I'm doing it right and make sure I'm doing the damn thing. You know? Then, of course, to fuck with my psyche because as a man, am I doing it right? As this is, you know what I'm saying? These are the teaching tools and the lessons that came out of that. To where now, here I am at 50. I've had a slew of this, that, and other. Now we're going through body changes. We're going through shit. I'm not the young man I once was. You know, what's the saying? What used to take me all night to do now, I mean, what I used to be able to do all night now takes me all night to do. Okay, I always fuck it up. All right? So, that whole kind of thing. And then, you know, what does that mean to me as a man? You know, see, these are the kinds of conversations that we as menfolk need to have that will benefit us so that when we talk about a black agenda, we're able to go in there more cohesively, more with something on the table that's more than just our body parts. You understand? We need some substance and not that surface shit. Y'all kind of quiet today. Y'all didn't put no comments down up in here. Everybody watching, man. That's cool. That's real cool because I'm going to let y'all go on that because I see that this here is a little deep. But I'm glad because I want y'all to sit down here and to think. I want y'all to come up in here and to understand a couple of things. And I'm hoping that this will shed some kind of light on something. And yes, like I told y'all at the beginning of this, I connected those together. And y'all may say that didn't go together. But yes, it does. Because when we talk about the black agenda, one of the biggest things that's on that agenda is understanding that black men are an endangered species. And a lot of y'all will sit down there and say, well, hell, a black woman can't find a good man because of that gay shit and blah, 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 blah. But we have to come to the table and say, okay, let's understand and break all of that down. Let's break it all down and everybody take their responsibility in it. Not nobody else's. What is your responsibility in all of this, and what can you contribute to the rebuild of what it is that we say is ours? You understand? So yeah, the black community and that black agenda, okay, Here's another thing, and I'm going to say this because this is the catalyst of why I want to talk about the Black agenda. Is because one of the things that we have not taken into consideration are the Black farmers. Okay, I was watching Tamron Hall a couple days ago, and this wonderfully handsome man. Oh my God, he's absolutely gorgeous. His name is John Wesley Boyd Jr. He's the president of the National Black Farmers Association. And he was on there because now that we're in the COVID-19 era, you know, Black farmers are being hit the worst, you know, because they're not getting the government subsidies and carrying on that they need in order to keep their farms up. Now, we all know that whatever is going on with the food system, okay, the food, we got genetically modified foods. I told y'all earlier, we got kids nowadays who, you know, they're growing up so fast because the food and what's being processed in our foods. If you put hormones in the food, if you are genetically modifying the food, that means you are modifying its effects on what it's going to do to the body. Listen, I know seedless grapes, seedless watermelons, and those kinds of things are absolutely delicious. Okay, those cutesy little what's those little oranges? The cuties, you know, oranges. They're seedless oranges. Lovely, child. Ain't that fabulous? Because you ain't got to worry about plucking the seeds. Well, child, that is a fruit. A fruit is supposed to have seeds, baby. It's supposed to have seeds. So anytime you're eating something that is seedless that's supposed to have one, it is genetically modified, which means it's not going to do with or have the same effect that it will in its natural state because it's been altered. So if it's been altered, that means either it's going to accelerate or decelerate whatever the nutrients do in your body because it's been altered. So now, if we eating a lot of genetically modified foods and carrying on, what the hell do you think it's doing to the body? Because it's ingesting. That's how come we got a lot of kids. I told y'all one time before, my niece started her period at 9 years old. When my sister came to tell me that shit, I was mortified. At 9 years old, my niece started her cycle. What the hell? That she was at least 3 years off. And you know, girls develop faster than boys anyway. So she was at least 3 years off from what our calculations were supposed to. You know, we thinking about, 11-ish, 12-ish, 13 maybe. 13, 14 is usually somebody that's kind of like late blooming or whatever. But around that 11, 12-ish era is usually when girls are starting, to enter puberty. And that's what the cycle means. When you start having a cycle, when boys start having wet dreams and carrying on, and you realize that you're waking up more often with your dick hard and care, that day was starting the puberty cycle. Okay? You're starting to understand what it means. Your body is changing. So now, if that's coming earlier and earlier and earlier, the food is genetically modified. So if that's the case, and we have farmers who are now saying that I can't produce an adequate crop, okay, this is what happens when they're trying to save money or trying to make money. Because if they can't yield a crop, then what happens? They end up doing shortcuts so they get a better yield. Okay, so that it becomes plentiful or whatever. And so then you end up using the fast grow, the miracle grows, and all this kind of shit. Got these big ass tomatoes and things that looking like damn cabbage patches or looking like damn red pumpkins. Okay, what is that? So the farmers are being hit. The banks, black-owned banks, we don't have many of those anyway. Black-owned banks are being hit because now they can't supply the capital needed to fund black-owned businesses or this, that, and the other. They're out of the competition. They're fewer and fewer. So because a lot of them are not, we don't have any black-owned banks that are a chain. Huh? Wouldn't that be lovely to have a black-owned bank that's as big as a Wells Fargo or whatever, to where you have a black-owned bank that's on every damn corner almost? Wouldn't it be nice to have a black-owned credit union? Wouldn't that be fabulous? so that we as entrepreneurs and things who are looking to get black businesses and black folks to understand what it is to be to be a business owner and things of that nature, to be sensitive to the community, to understand how the money turns over with us. Wouldn't that just be fabulous? But we don't have that. So when we're talking about these things, these are some of the things that we need to go into to be specific. We got to understand about these tax codes and carrying on. I've just been told again, someone reiterated that the tax code for black businesses and stuff, we need to challenge those things so that we can sit down there and not have to pay somebody else's taxes because you gave them a break, but yet you want me to make up for it because you're not challenging them. You understand? So these are all of the things that we need to do in order for us to come into some kind of collective front, so we can say this is what we need. You understand? So yeah, the black agenda it needs to be most inclusive, right? But then we have to also break down that bullshit. And then when we break down that bullshit, we can't go and nitpick every damn thing. Because the problem that why we can't advance and why we can't move on is because we so busy worried about the nitpicking and we get to the minuscule little shits. It's like counting a grain of sand. Y'all know that it's almost virtually impossible to count a grain of sand. But we try to break shit down so much to where we want that one little grain of sand to where you forget to hear all this sand over here that cut you because you know glass is made from sand. Now cut the shit out your ass because you so busy worried about one little piece of particle that has nothing to do. It's so minute to where you forget all the whole fucking beach because you so busy worried about that one little particle. Nitpicking. Because you want exact interpretation. Bullshit. You're scared and you're afraid of something. You're afraid somebody's going to get something more than you. And this, that, and the other. So, those are my thoughts right now, honey. And I want us to look into this so that we can move forward and that we can get the best for our buck. You understand? Let's not settle for the scraps. We want the best for our buck. You understand? The best and the most. For those of y'all who know how to go bulk shopping with your food stamps and carry on, you know how to go shopping to where you stretch them goddamn food stamps to where it's going to last all month. Versus taking that thing and you going to get a week's worth of damn groceries. That's what we talking about. We want the best for the best buck, the best bang for our buck. Understand? So with that, I'm going to talk myself into a whole new thing. I hope this was a learning tool for y'all. Y'all were very quiet today. Very, very quiet. So that's cool. That means y'all listening. Take and share this and pass this on to others and things of that nature. Let's get this conversation started. I want to dish this tea and dunk a few crumpets. Or, hey, okay, seep a little tea, honey. How about that? For those who are my tea servers and my pot stirrers, honey. So, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. And my eye, here we go with these damn allergies. This eye is gone. But thank God I didn't do that through all of this video today. So, all right, my darlings, if you love me, tell a friend. If you hate me, tell an enemy. But do know this, one way, shape, style, form, of fashion, everything that I'm doing will move forward. I said I was going to do this. And wait a minute. I didn't get up from my spot. So, here we go. For the first time, I'm going to move on this thing. Because I got to go to my kitchen and get my, the drink. Because I want to show y'all the drink. Hey, Eric, thanks for coming up in here. Listen, y'all see this? See this? I told y'all this the other day. This here is from a sister down here in Atlanta, Georgia, okay? This is called Fourth Ward Originals, okay? And she is a mobile cocktail catering service, okay? This here is her Sweet Georgia Peach squeezer. You see that? Isn't that just a darling little thing, honey? Come here. And she got a little squeeze bottle. You know, it's portable and things of that nature. Honey, these girls here are absolutely to kill for, honey. Damn. Oh my God. I put it in the refrigerator, honey. This is fabulous. But this here is the sweet peach. This is the Hennessy. And just that little squirt, honey, just got me. It is so infused. And this is the peach and this is so that way, child. You could take this cocktail, child. This cocktail can last you. Okay, you can ride this all motherfucking night long. If you got a little party going on, I'm telling you, these here will get your party started right together. Now, this here is the, like I said, this is sweet peach, sweet Georgia peach. She has the strawberry tequila, and she has a whole list of stuff that she does. And there's the coconut pineapple on there for those of y'all who want to be exotic. She got cherry bombs, and she got some the infused gummies and things of that nature. I want y'all to follow her on Instagram. And you get her price list and carrying on. If you're here in Atlanta, she does a 5-mile radius to deliver to you and things of that nature. But you can follow her at Squeezes by BB Red on Instagram. Again, Squeezes by BB Red on Instagram. These are 4th Ward originals, child. I'm telling you, I just got hooked up to this sister just last night. And because I fell in love with this immediately, and I'm telling you, immediately. She bought me this because she's like, I want you to sample it and give me your honest opinion. And I said, okay, girl, you know I'm going to do that. And I'm telling you, child, this here, baby, this is the absolute truth. For those of you who like cocktails and carrying on, and, you know, the fun of it is it's the squeeze bottle. Because you know how you want somebody, they want to taste your drink or whatever. You don't even got to sit down there and have them put their mouth all on it. It's just, point and squeeze. Boom. And it's done. Oh, but this thing hit. Oh, the fun part is that when you squeeze it, it hits so cutely. It's kind of like, you know how when you get how I don't do drugs, but you know how on TV when the dope people put the drugs on and their eyes start flooding in the back of their head because they feel that the high kick in or whatever. This is what this damn thing does. So when you hit the squeeze, it just sits down there and you get infused with the liquor and carried on so cutely. The peaches and things. It just hits so cutely. This is just a cute. So again, 4th Ward Originals, child. Y'all go check her out and see if you could get into this. Okay? Squeezes by BB Red on IG. Hit her up over there and let her entertain you, child. And if you're here in the Atlanta area, honey, yeah, she will sit down there, talk to her about seeing what you can do to see if she can cater a party when we come out of this corona shit. Okay? So again, Squeezes by BB Red, honey. I'm telling you, this is so fun. This is so fucking fun. It's ridiculous. So that's my commercial. That's my everything right now. Again, take and share this video with folks and let's get this conversation started because I'm telling y'all, child, we really need to go into this and get this done the right way. And you know what? Wait a minute. Not the right way. Let's try doing this a different way. Because anytime we try to make something right or wrong, that's a judgment call. Okay? And not everything is right for everybody because we all do shit differently. But if we can come to a consensus so that we can move forward, I think that's a better word. Let's do this, come to a consensus so that we can do something a little differently to move us and propel us forward. That's a better way of saying that. Oh, excuse me. That's a better way of saying that. So, on that, my darlings, you may finish all of your crumpets because the tea has been dished, and you've been dishing tea, darlings. Ha! With Big Meats right here on this edition of the Corona Chronicles, okay? Again, like, share, subscribe to all of my platforms. Follow me on my link tree. I'm going to put that down here in the comments. Because y'all didn't comment today, honey. Ooh, I must have hit something. Y'all didn't say a word today. TTPS // link LINKTR big meats. Okay, y'all go here and follow me there. Everything that you need about Big Meats and Carrying On is right there. Go there, follow me on all of my platforms, and let's make that happen, okay? So until the next time, my darlings, hey. That there is tea, honey, so I'm hoping we did some, okay? I'll talk with you guys again soon. Ciao.